The moment-by-moment evidence of a horrifying hate crime. A Texas jury confronts the details of a black man's death by dragging. Hours before the new war or peace deadline in what used to be Yugoslavia, how President Clinton was double-crossed. And life in the 90s, a world-renowned doctor's secret prescription for a longer, healthier life.
This is the CBS Evening News. With Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. The hate trial that called due attention to racially motivated violence in America brought the horror home today in shocking detail. The jury in Jasper, Texas saw and heard heartbreaking prosecution evidence, the excruciating picture of how a black man was dragged to his death. CBS's Bob McNamara is covering the trial.
On the morning John William King left jail smiling, he would be confronted with the most devastating evidence yet. In damning detail, a pathologist told for the first time how horrifying James Byrd Jr.'s last moments of life were. How Byrd's body was a gruesome record of a helpless struggle to stay alive. How he fought the force of a truck dragging him down the bumpy road, vainly trying to keep his head off the asphalt, shifting his body to relieve the severe pain, then being killed when he hit a culvert and was decapitated. As King listened passively, the pathologist said Byrd's ankles bore marks, that a logging chain was used to shackle him to the rear of the truck and drag him to his death.
We owed this to the public, to the country, to the world, to put on everything we had, and that's what we've done.
Byrd's father sat stone-faced through the testimony, but several family members wept.
It's kind of hard when it's in your face and very realistic as it was today.
The most haunting evidence was a silent videotape. For 11 minutes, the courtroom sat hushed as an FBI camera traced the 3-mile country road along which James Byrd was dragged.
So as I watched that tape, I was visualizing he was alive and that he was moving all of his body, hips, heels, elbows, trying to get away from the pain.
This case has become a defense attorney's nightmare. Overwhelmed by the evidence, attorney Sonny Cribbs offered just 3 witnesses, men who knew King before the crime. And the whole thing was over in just an hour.
We can only put on what we have.
Late today, defense attorney Cribbs left to prepare tomorrow's closing arguments.
Are you innocent, Bill?
John William King wasn't smiling when he came out of court. Bob McNamara, CBS News, Jasper, Texas.
Outside Paris, there is no sign tonight of any breakthrough in the Kosovo peace talks, with the new, quote, deadline, unquote, now just hours away. And new fighting broke out today in Kosovo between Serbs and ethnic Albanians, sending hundreds of refugees fleeing for safety. NATO planes are still ready for possible attacks against Serbia. But as CBS News senior European correspondent Tom Fenton reports, even that's not budging anyone at the negotiating table.
Secretary of State Albright arrived at the talks this morning looking like she meant business.
I'm here to work hard.
But the going got tough in a hurry as the ethnic Albanians, the very people this deal is meant to help, came down with a case of cold feet, unsure if the agreement would really pave the way for full independence. As the weather worsened, so did the mood, with both the Serbs and the Albanians digging in. Hopes of meeting tomorrow's deadline were fading fast. The Americans didn't mince words.
Again, this is an extraordinarily difficult problem.
But the only thing on the mind of Serb President Milutinovic this afternoon was a stroll and a little spin. The threat of airstrikes didn't seem to faze him.
Why to have airstrikes? What for? To punish us because we are fighting for our country against terrorists?
It's a bad sign when the Serbs can play the injured party, a sign of negotiations in trouble. Even if they get a deal, this has not been an elegant exercise in international peacemaking. The Europeans, divided as ever, had to step aside to let the United States play leader of the pack. And on the other side of the table, the Serbs have been up to their old tricks of bluff and brinksmanship. For those who remember the war in Bosnia, it is, as the French would say, déjà vu all over again. Tom Fenton, CBS News, Rambouillet.
The breakdown in and confusion surrounding the Kosovo peace talks have raised questions about the Clinton administration's foreign policy decision-making process, American intelligence gathering, and what's really going on in these talks. CBS News White House correspondent Scott Pelley puts this in perspective. Scott?
Dan, the very people that the United States is trying to save essentially double-crossed the president. A senior advisor here at the White House told CBS News that the Kosovar Albanian delegation indicated they might be inclined to accept the peace plan, which led Mr. Clinton on Friday to declare that airstrikes against the Serbians could be imminent.
I think it would be a mistake to extend the deadline. The Kosovo Albanians have shown courage in moving forward the peace accord that we, our NATO allies, and Russia have proposed.
The Kosovo Albanians then, of course, rejected the peace plan. One advisor here calls the Kosovo Albanian delegation eclectic, and he says they have trouble figuring out what it is that they want to do. If they do not take the peace plan tomorrow, then another deadline will come and go. There is clearly a sense of exasperation at the White House, a feeling that the United States jumped in to stop a genocide, and the Kosovar Albanians are so far refusing to be saved. Dan?
Scott Pelley at the White House. We turn now to the U.S. economy and Wall Street, where stock prices soared today. Take a look. Dow Industrials up 212 points to close at 9,552. That's a gain of more than 2%. Over on the NASDAQ, stocks jumped 58 points, or more than 2.5%. Reason to call in CBS News business correspondent Anthony Mason for an explanation. Anthony, what's going on here?
Well, Dan, today's rally brought the Dow to within 90 points of its all-time high, but it's been a bumpy month for stocks, especially tech stocks. Computer giants Microsoft and Dell are each down 15% in February. But the markets seem to be anticipating Alan Greenspan's testimony tomorrow on Capitol Hill. And Dan, the Fed chairman is widely expected to deliver a glowing report card on the U.S. economy.
Any worries about interest rate hikes and what that could mean for Wall Street?
There is concern. The economy is still running so hot, the fear is that could reignite inflation. That's Greenspan's sworn enemy. It hasn't happened yet, but Fed watchers will be looking for any hint in Greenspan's language that he's worried and might be poised to raise rates again. Dan?
Might be the critical phrase there. Thanks, Anthony.
Yeah.
Still ahead on the CBS Evening News, an American city starts seizing the cars of allegedly drunken drivers. Would you let a 90-year-old surgeon operate on you? This one you would. And spin doctors take on a patient who's been dead for 200 years.
That must be a fascinating article.
You think?
But now it's time to feed the kitties. Anybody hungry?
I am.
Cats know what they want. Whiskas. What cats want.
Gotcha.
Courage. Something shared by countless Americans. Those who risked their lives. Those who battled serious illness. When I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, I was primarily concerned with ridding myself of the cancer. But secondly, I was concerned about possible post-operative side effects like erectile dysfunction, ED, often called impotence. You know, it's a little embarrassing to talk about ED, but it's so important to millions of men and their partners that I decided to talk about it publicly. And after all, it can be associated with many conditions, including prostate surgery, high blood pressure, diabetes, or even smoking. And the point I want to make is there are many treatments available for ED, so my advice is get a medical checkup. It's the best way to get educated about ED and what can be done to treat it. It may take a little courage, but I've always found that everything worthwhile does.
This is how the world feels when you have dry eyes. But now there's new Visine Tears with a unique tears formula not found in other leading brands to make dry, scratchy eyes feel moist and comfortable. Visine Tears, it gets the dry out.
A first-of-a-kind law took effect today in the battle against drunken drivers. More than 20 states now allow seizing the automobiles of some repeat offenders. But the government of New York City today revved up a law so tough, some say it is not street legal. CBS's Richard Schlesinger has the new word to the wise for DWIs.
In New York City, police couldn't wait to show off the latest crackdown on drunk drivers. They set up a sobriety checkpoint to dramatize it. The police promised, starting at 12:01 this morning, they would seize the cars of DWI suspects and hold on to them before any trial. They kept their word. They even jumped the gun. The first car was seized at 10:30 last night, not at a checkpoint, but out on the road. By this morning, 4 suspects and 3 cars had been locked up. The 4th car wasn't confiscated because it didn't belong to the driver.
But essentially what this is doing is getting society to take driving while intoxicated more seriously.
Not surprisingly, there are strong critics of this program, and not surprisingly, they have threatened to sue.
In this situation, they're seizing the car merely based on arrest. It doesn't depend on whether you're convicted of the crime. And I think that will, in the public's mind, be unfair.
The mayor is ready to fight.
We believe that after some degree of legal struggle, which you know happens every time you do anything in New York City, that is an advancement. I'm quite confident that we'll prevail.
Giuliani could be on to something. Just this morning, the county executive of Nassau County, which borders New York, announced he wants to do the same thing. And any court battle will likely be monitored closely by other mayors who are anxious to prove that they too can be tough on drunk drivers. Richard Schlesinger, CBS News, New York.
Up next here on CBS News about how to stay healthier longer later in life. Part one of our special Eye on America series, Life in the 90s.
The CBS Evening News and tonight's Eye on America segment are sponsored by Tylenol. Take comfort in our strength.
When you or someone you love is hospitalized, safety matters most. That's why doctors and hospitals choose Tylenol more than any other pain reliever. Doctors know Tylenol is least likely to have drug interactions, and it won't cause stomach irritation the way aspirin and even ibuprofen sometimes can. It's the pain reliever hospitals use most. Tylenol. Take comfort in our strength.
Nancy will have to see from near to far almost 1,000 times today. Her eyes will focus on 40 labels, 60 charts, and 100 smiles. And in all that time, she'll never once think about the science that allows her to focus instantly at all distances. Nancy just knows that her Verilux lenses help her see better. And for her, that's a very comforting thought. Verilux, the comfort of better vision. For more information, call toll-free 1-800-VERILUX.
Put on your best suit. You are cordially invited to Lobster Fest at Red Lobster. Indulge in all of your lobster favorites at the most casual prices of the year. Escape to Red Lobster for Lobster Fest today.
These days in Washington, there's more heartburn than ever, and more burning, and more pressure. More pain. It's time someone did more about it, too.
Alka-Seltzer does more with more medicines to speed complete relief to your worst heartburn and pain. Alka-Seltzer, more complete heartburn relief.
Tonight at 6, it's been a month since the Clarksville tornadoes. How far have residents come and what won't be rebuilt? We'll find out coming up tonight at 6 in a live report.
U.S. health officials today reported what they call the biggest advance in treating cervical cancer since the 1950s. The National Cancer Institute says combining chemotherapy with radiation improves survival rates up to 50% in women whose cervical cancer is spreading. News about living longer and better is the subject of a three-part Eye on America series CBS is starting tonight. We begin with one of the most noted heart disease treatment pioneers of the century, a working example of how to live life in the 90s.
At the crack of a Texas dawn,
Morning. How are you?
Dr. Michael DeBakey is on the move.
I slept almost 5 hours.
Almost 5 hours.
Which is
A little longer
than usual.
Leaving the house he built a half-century ago for the mile-and-a-half drive to Houston's Baylor College of Medicine.
Why did you want to live so close?
It's a matter of timing. I can use my time more effectively if I'm not driving.
So if you live 5 minutes away from the hospital, very little time spent driving. More time to work.
More time to work. Well, when you had this heart attack, what symptoms did you have then?
I couldn't breathe.
It's work that has driven DeBakey all his life.
I'd like to have you look this over.
And helped lead a medical revolution.
This is a special plastic thread.
He pioneered coronary bypass surgery, implanted the first mechanical heart pump, and invented the roller pump, which made the heart-lung machine and open-heart surgery possible. He's advised every president since Truman, been recognized with 53 honorary degrees, and won the coveted Lasker Award for Medicine.
I would say next to the Nobel Prize, the most prestigious award in medical science.
And through it all, he's barely noticed the last 90 years slip by.
Physically, fortunately, and mentally,
I feel like I always felt. And I'm still doing most everything I want to do that I used to be able to do.
Mostly what DeBakey does is stay busy, still working 16-hour days, still traveling, on this particular day to the state capitol.
Hi, Dr. DeBakey.
To meet the governor.
I want to find the fountain of youth. You've obviously found it.
And even as legislators honored him for a lifetime of service, they wondered how he keeps going.
Some of it's heredity, no question about that. And some of it's attitude. Every day, new challenges are there. And to me, that's the zest of life. So you're just cutting into the arterial wall.
For all his time spent as a medical statesman and researcher, this is Dr. DeBakey's first love. The operating room is the place he calls home. Whether it's a head of state or the head of a household, nothing is more gratifying for Dr. DeBakey than being where he is this afternoon, on the front lines.
You know, a little section too.
After 60 years and more than 60,000 operations, DeBakey's hands are as steady as a surgeon's half his age. His mind still so sharp that he'll pick up what other doctors miss. As he did 2 years ago when he contradicted Russian surgeons who'd concluded Boris Yeltsin's heart disease was inoperable.
Then I went in to tell him that he could be operated on and should be operated on, and I thought he would do well.
And what was his response?
Oh, he was very eager.
So what is the secret to DeBakey's vitality? He lives a healthy life, doesn't smoke, doesn't drink, and eats sensible foods like soup and vegetables. What about exercise?
I don't feel I need to, you see. And I'm glad to see some of these studies recently that show that just fidgeting is good for you.
His biggest secret may be that DeBakey never retired, never stopped setting goals. His latest, a miniature heart pump he developed with NASA, which may eliminate the need for many heart transplants. Are we going to hear that at the age of 105, Michael DeBakey has made another breakthrough in medicine?
I hope so. Absolutely, I hope so. As long as the good Lord let me.
And as long as there is another heart to mend, another discovery to be made, Michael DeBakey will have a reason to come back to work again tomorrow. In Houston, I'm John Roberts for Eye on America.
Tomorrow on the CBS Evening News, you'll meet a woman who's still flying high and high on life in the 90s. They buried Gene Siskel today in Chicago. He died over the weekend. Complications from a brain tumor. He was just 53. Siskel was a legend at the Chicago Tribune and also contributed to programs here at CBS News. Everybody thinks he's a movie critic. Gene Siskel really was one. He's best remembered for trading reviews and barbs with his rival Roger Ebert. Hollywood fell for Dietrich's legs and Gable's ears, but not until Siskel and Ebert did Hollywood ever crave anybody's thumbs. Up or down, those thumbs pointed the way to a love of movies that won't ever die. In memory of our friend Gene Siskel, 2 thumbs up.
It's real milk chocolate, chewy caramel, and crunchy nuggets in a scrumptiously delicious bar, fortified with antioxidants, bone-building calcium, and essential protein. The delicious, nutritious Boost Bar. Get your recommended daily allowance of chocolate crunch. Find it next to Boost.
I run an inn, but mostly it runs me. I can't be slowed down wearing something big and bulky for my bladder control problem, but a pad wasn't enough. Until I found new Poise Ultra Plus. They're small and discreet, but have all the protection of a regular undergarment. They absorb all this, and they're just as good at guarding against leaks. Finally, undergarment protection in a pad. With Poise Ultra Plus, I can keep up with innkeeping. New Poise Ultra Plus, the freedom to be yourself.
Pizza Hut dared anyone to find a better pizza.
Oh, really?
Papa John took the challenge and won in independent taste tests, one big time. That's not surprising. After all, we were named Best Pizza Chain 2 years in a row.
Anybody can claim to make a better pizza, but it's you, the consumer, who decided. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Try our Papa's Choice, a large pizza with your choice of up to 5 toppings for just $10.99.
Woods aren't the only place predators lurk. If you were being followed, would you know what to do? Make sure your doors are locked, windows up. Don't go home. Drive to where there are people, someplace bright, then lean on the horn and draw attention. For more safety tips, get this free book from Shell. Count on Shell.
He received the world's first hand transplant, but did he con his doctors?
Yeah, I was shocked.
Could one last con cost him his life? 48 hours tonight.
Kidnappings are creating terror on the streets of Mexico. So far this year, Mexican kidnappings are averaging one a day. As CBS's Bill Whitaker reports, it's become so dangerous that some wealthy Mexicans are fleeing the country.
Kidnapping for money has become almost commonplace in Mexico these days. What's shocking this time was not the crime, but the victim, the 65-year-old father of Jorge Campos, one of Mexico's most celebrated soccer stars. Campos flew in from Hong Kong to seek his father's release. I thank the nation for its prayers and concern, he says. Mexicans are concerned. In fact, they're terrified by all the kidnapping. When the economy spiraled down in the 90s, crime shot up, especially kidnapping. Mexicans forked out $200 million to kidnappers in '97. There have been 50 abductions so far this year.
They got into his car and supposedly put him in the back seat.
American businessman Frederick McPhail enjoyed the good life in Mexico until kidnappers killed his son Frederick. Several Mexican police have been arrested for the crime, 3 of them after slipping across the border into Texas.
That's the worst thing you can do. Stop for any policeman in any way, shape, or form.
But the crime is so lucrative and the perpetrator so rarely caught that kidnapping is one of Mexico's real growth industries. So says American Pete Palmer, who runs a security business in Mexico City.
More Mexicans were unemployed and underemployed. The result of that was more and more people were in some degree or another economically desperate.
After Vicente Fernandez, one of Mexico's most popular singers, made a tearful plea, he paid kidnappers $3.2 million to get his son back. Then he did what a growing number of Mexico's wealthier citizens are doing. He packed his family off to live safely in the United States. Bill Whitaker, CBS News, Los Angeles.
On CBS Next, bringing an American icon back to life. When it's too late for CPR, try plain old PR.
I'm gonna live forever.
I'm gonna ruin your shirt. Stay, baby, remember my name.
The amazing new Maytag Neptune washer. With its turbo clean wash system, it actually has the power to remove stains.
Say goodnight, stains.
I wanna live forever.
Now in a super stack.
Sorry I'm late. I was at my doctor and... Oh, did you ask her about the things you've been reading about menopause? I did. She said...
It's important to consider menopause and the consequences of its associated estrogen loss.
You mean like hot flashes? Hot flashes and night sweats, but other things too, like vaginal dryness. It can interfere with intimacy.
And osteoporosis. I know that menopause increases our risk of fractures.
Dr. Hartman also said...
Studies show that menopause contributes to heart disease in women. Additional ongoing studies are investigating the connection between menopause and Alzheimer's disease, colon cancer, blindness, and tooth loss.
I had no idea. My doctor and I decided to stick with a program we've agreed on for years. I should speak to my doctor.
When considering menopause, consider the entire body of evidence. Speak to your doctor about what you can do to help protect your health during and after menopause.
In hospital pharmacies, they dispense medicines that work fast. For heartburn, that's 1 minute Malox.
It goes to work on stomach acid in 1 minute. Pepcid AC could take over 45 minutes.
Hospital pharmacies rely on Malox. Shouldn't you?
Count on 1 minute Malox.
I was driving across country to my first job. That's when my car starts making this weird noise. I saw a Firestone store with MasterCare car service. They found the problem and suggested a way to fix it that saved me money.
We guarantee to fix it right or your money back.
The official holiday and the sales that go with it were last week, but today is the actual birthday of America's what some people believe to be greatest ever president, George Washington. His national monument, which is getting a facelift, was opened to the public today for the first time in 4 months. Masons are repairing cracks in the 550-foot-high obelisk. They expect to be done next year. Renovations are also being done on George Washington himself, or his image at least. CBS's Bill Geist reports tonight on the remaking of the president, 1999.
You would think that winning the Revolutionary War and founding a nation would be enough. But alas, George Washington now has a public relations team that just launched a massive image makeover at his Mount Vernon home.
People are going to wonder why the father of our country, this esteemed man, needs a public relations campaign.
Well, because we found out most people think he's dull.
No more. Faced with dwindling attendance and competition from theme parks and that media hog, Thomas Jefferson, just down the road, the Mount Vernon Ladies Association, which owns the place, is playing hardball.
We do welcome you to Mount Vernon.
Spending $3 million this year alone on a media blitz, refurbished exhibits, a new museum, and even a nose job.
The nose was just repaired in the last 2 months.
Plastic surgeon or
plaster surgeon.
They've added more historical characters and games. Anybody for corncob darts?
All right. Yeah. Very good. These people say we don't know any of the really interesting things about Washington, and what we think we know is all wrong. That stuff about the cherry tree and throwing the silver dollar across the river, forget it.
Washington had an incredibly exciting life. There's plenty of sizzle there. Very much of an architect, really. He designed not only the house we're in, he personally oversaw the decor.
The father of our country, an interior decorator who wore cool shades and made moonshine.
He was a great farmer, growing wheat, corn, potatoes.
He was big in the fish business.
In fact, many years he made more money fishing than he did from his farming.
The spin doctors are trying to humanize Washington by kind of messing up the exhibits.
We really feel that you get a sense that Washington just stepped out of this room.
His bed's not even made.
Well, what you're seeing here is Washington's death scene.
Oh.
This is the anniversary of Washington's death. It's the 200th anniversary in 1999.
Some would say that's not a cause for celebration.
Well, we're celebrating his legacy, his achievements, his life, his legacy to the nation.
Presidents worry a lot about their legacies these days.
They do.
Even in death, presidents have problems, posterity problems. And so, the spinning continues. Bill Geist, CBS News, Mount Vernon.
On Washington's birthday, that's part of our world tonight. I'll be back here later on CBS with a special Monday edition of 48 Hours. Susan Spencer has a preview for you.
The astonishing story of the man with the transplanted hand. A medical miracle,
It's the start of an amazing journey.
a con job,
I think that he's probably one of the best con men in the world.
or both. Tonight on 48 Hours.
If you liked 60 Minutes last night, we think you'll like 48 Hours, special Monday edition tonight at 9 Central Time here on CBS. Until then, Dan Rather reporting for the CBS Evening News. See you later on 48 Hours.
For news 24 hours a day, CBS.com on the internet and on America Online at keyword CBS News.
Tomorrow, this pilot's nearly 90 and she has an anti-aging secret. Find out how she stayed aloft so long on Life in the 90s, a special series on the CBS Evening News. Experience you can trust. CBS News.
Oh, wow, Kyle. They look great.
Tonight, just 3 days after surgery, a Murfreesboro boy gets his first look at a new pair of ears.
The medical examiner says no, but the district attorney could order an autopsy on Tammy Wynette's body. What will he do? You'll have the answer up next.